If he wasn't helped, he would have died. Stranded in the vast, frozen wilderness of Greenland, one man carried his companion across ice and snow for days, risking his own life just to keep him alive. This is the true story of Einar Mikkelsen and Ivar Iverson, two Danish explorers whose courage, determination, and unbreakable bond allowed them to survive the harshest conditions on Earth. In 1910, Mikkelsen set out on an expedition with Iverson to recover records from a previous lost journey and prove Greenland was a single landmass, not multiple islands. They were skilled, prepared, and determined, but nothing could have prepared them for what lay ahead. Their ship was crushed by ice before they could return to safety, leaving the two men stranded in the Arctic with limited supplies and no way to contact the outside world. The landscape was unforgiving. Endless ice fields stretched in every direction, punctuated only by jagged cliffs and freezing winds. Temperatures plunged well below freezing, and the sun was often hidden for weeks at a time. The men faced hunger, frostbite, and exhaustion that threatened to crush their spirit. Every step was a struggle, every breath a test of will. And then came the moment that would define their survival. Iverson noticed Mikkelsen beginning to falter. The cold had sapped his strength, and hunger had weakened his body to the point that he could barely walk. Without help, he would not have survived. And so, Iverson did the impossible. He carried his companion across miles of treacherous ice, navigating crevasses and slippery terrain while fighting the same exhaustion and biting cold himself. Every step was a risk. One slip could mean both of their deaths. Yet he pressed on, because survival depended not just on individual strength, but on their trust and mutual support. Days blurred into nights, and nights into weeks. They survived on whatever they could find, including their dogs, using every scrap of energy to continue moving. Hunger gnawed at them relentlessly, and the cold was so severe that frostbite threatened fingers, toes, and faces. At times, the men hallucinated, seeing shadows and shapes in the ice, questioning whether they would ever escape this frozen prison. Yet, even in the depths of despair, neither gave up. They had each other, and that bond became their lifeline.
At one point, they built a small hut for shelter, a fragile barrier against the Arctic winds. There, they spent 2 brutal winters, surviving on limited supplies, rationing every bit of food, and keeping each other alive through sheer determination. Every day was a battle, every night a test of endurance, and every day Iverson's decision to carry, protect, and support Mikkelsen meant the difference between life and death. Without him, Mikkelsen would have succumbed to the cold, hunger, or exhaustion. Without Mikkelsen, Iverson would have faced the same fate. Together, they endured what no one should ever have to endure. Finally, in 1912, a Norwegian ship arrived to rescue them. Both men emerged from the Arctic alive, forever marked by the ordeal, but alive because of their courage, perseverance, and the unwavering trust they placed in each other. Their story is not just one of survival, it is a testament to human resilience and the extraordinary lengths one person will go to save another. Imagine being trapped in a frozen wasteland, knowing that the only reason you might live is the strength and courage of someone else. What would you do in that situation? Could you survive without help? This story reminds us that even in the harshest, most unforgiving conditions, human connection, courage, and selflessness can make the impossible possible. The next time you hear a story of survival, remember Mikkelsen and Iverson, 2 men lost in ice and snow, whose lives were saved not just by their own strength, but by the unwavering support they gave each other. Comment below, what would you do if you were stranded in the ice, with your life depending on someone else? Could you carry them to safety?